everyone, coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents the SmackDown Ring Report. What a SmackDown Ring Report we have for you coming up here. There's a lot going on here on the SmackDown Ring Report. A lot's going on tonight, as you see right here, the SmackDown Ring Report. Right here, coming up next on the SmackDown Ring Report, we talk about the road to WrestleMania as Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey continued their rivalry, and they leave everyone to the imagination on what's going on. Also, too, Brock Lesnar looking for revenge after what Roman Reigns did to him at Madison Square Garden. When Brock Lesnar wants a piece of Roman Reigns and most piece one way possible. Plus, two, Pete Dunne makes his SmackDown debut, but they rename him, and we'll get to the latest on him being Sheamus' sidekick. Oh, God, what's going on with that? Also, too, breaking news. We just found out that Big E has suffered a broken neck during his match tonight. We'll get to the latest on that. And with Big E, our prayers and thoughts with Big E on his injury. Also, too, this week, the Hardy Boys reunite, as well as the returning Rim Regal. I'll tell you what I think Rim Regal will fit in AEW. Also, too, Jericho makes his heel debut again, and these two voluptuous women try to talk it out and snap it out on NXT. We'll get to the latest as the SmackDown Ring Report starts right now. Hello, everyone. This is Kendrick Dix on voiceover. As you can hear, this is the SmackDown Ring Report for you tonight. We got a lot to get to, but first thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. This is a live edition of the Pro Wrestling Show as you're watching here of the Pro Wrestling Show. What a show we got to you tonight. But first thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget, hit that subscribe button to be notified on everything here on Connect TV. We got a lot to get to tonight. And like I said, it's been a want to say hellacious SmackDown. It was that tonight. But let's kick off with SmackDown with the WWE champion, Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar made his entrance in Birmingham, of all places, my former hometown, getting the recognition. It was a packed house tonight in Birmingham. I saw everyone in there jam-packed tonight. Brock Lesnar didn't forget about what happened to him this past weekend when he was destroyed by Roman Reigns and set up. Brock Lesnar wants his revenge, and he wants Roman Reigns the best way he can. And he hasn't forgot. And he wants Roman in the worst way possible. We know that Brock Lesnar will meet Roman Reigns at WrestleMania for both championships, title for title, Universal and WWE Championship will be on the line. But Paul Heyman came out there and made an announcement, and Brock Lesnar was batshit. You know what? Brock Lesnar came out there and ran after his former advocate, agent, manager, and Paul Heyman got in a limousine and ran away like the walrus he is. But we know next week that Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns will meet face to face next week in what a lot of people say they're gonna collide. They're gonna collide, all right. They're gonna collide in the worst way possible with Brock and Roman. So we'll see that next week. Also too on SmackDown was the tag team match. Big E and Kofi Kingston teamed up against Sheamus and Rich Holland. Now Sheamus has a new member to his stable. Sheamus added Rich Holland to his stable. Rich Holland came out there, and now they got a new assistant called Pete Dunne. But Pete Dunne is now referred as Butch. Well, this team is a team of, I don't know, necessity or whatever you want to call it, but they won the match. So the Irish people won their match. But at the end, we just found out breaking news right now that Big E had suffered a broken neck. Big E went to his Twitter page and telling the WWE Universe that he has suffered a broken neck. Our thoughts and prayers are with Big E at this time for his speedy recovery, a long recovery at that. Um, it's kind of we know like a lot of wrestlers been through neck injuries, including Edge, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Lita. It takes some time off. I'm thinking a year off your so Big E should be able to probably relax and get his mind right. But we're wishing him our thoughts and prayers are with Big E at this time. Whew, man, Big E. Speaking of that, a six-man tag team match came up as Drew McIntyre teamed up with the Viking Raiders to take on who McIntyre will meet at WrestleMania. Happy Corbin, Madcap Moss, and Jinder Mahal. In a six-man tag team match, McIntyre left all of them laid out after they had tried to lay out the Viking Raiders. McIntyre looking strong in his matchup against Baron Corbin, Happy Corbin, whatever you want to call him. He gets his opportunity to get his hands at him at WrestleMania. So we'll see that match. Speaking of matches and stuff, so we'll see that at WrestleMania. Them two. Speaking of that, we know that Pat McAfee and Austin Theory will meet at WrestleMania. But Austin Theory tried to punk out Pat McAfee again, and Pat McAfee was ready, and Pat McAfee had to be injected out of the building after he finally had not enough of Austin Theory's mind game. So Pat McAfee and Austin Theory will meet at WrestleMania. You would think that Pat McAfee want to come to Raw and play game with Austin Theory. You would think they would want to do that, but we'll see that WrestleMania. Plus, too, the women's tag team champions picture looking real clear. Sasha Banks. We had Sasha Banks. Well, it was supposed to be that match, but they changed the matchup, and we got Sasha Banks and Naomi going against Shayna Baszler and Natalya. It looks like they're gonna add them into the championship match. So look for that being added. It's gonna be a fatal four-way for the women's championship, for the women's tag championships. Speaking of Sasha Banks, along with fellow wrestler Xavier Woods, being nominated for a Kids' Choice Awards. So congratulations in order to Sasha Banks and Xavier Woods on their Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards nominations. The Kids' Choice Awards come your way Saturday, April 9th. Look for that. Plus, too, let's see, Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs may not look type happy, but they get to go to WrestleMania, and they get to go to WrestleMania to compete for the tag team championship against the Usos for the SmackDown titles. So the Usos will meet Nakamura and Boogs for the SmackDown tag team titles at WrestleMania. So the landscape. Speaking of tag team championships, we talked about Carmella and Zelina defending the women's tag team titles against Sasha and Naomi from SmackDown. From Raw, Rilla Ripley and Liv Morgan is an opportunity. So the tag team championship picture looking real good as well. Speaking of that, Johnny Knoxville will meet at WrestleMania. He will go against Sami Zayn, and he gave away Sami Zayn's number and to text him. I don't think Sami Zayn gonna like that one bit, being educated by fans, but you know that how it be sometime, but we'll see. And at the end, we saw that Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey had their little encounter earlier, where Charlotte said that. But at the end, Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey recreating the thing they did with Becky in themselves before they WrestleMania match. Now we know Charlotte left Ronda hurt, so we'll see going forward Ronda and Charlotte at WrestleMania. So we'll see for the women's title. All right, that ends the SmackDown Ring Report. Let's move over. Let's move over to hot topics. On hot topics this week, what are hot topics we talk about? Jeff Hardy, the charismatic enigma, was free of his contract this week. Jeff Hardy now a part of the AEW roster, helping his brother Matt. Jeff Hardy helping his brother Matt. Matt was kicked out of his own group that he started. And Matt Hardy now not part of the Andrade's group no more. I guess they say when you start a group, you better know they'll kick you out your own group. You don't know what's going on. So Matt Hardy and Jeff reunited, and it feels so good to be back reunited. Also, too, William Regal is back. William Regal, your lordship, is back. Regal, now an advisor, a manager, an agent, I don't know, to Bryan and Moxley. I would have thought Regal would have made a perfect fit as a commissioner or something like that, but I don't know. AEW just don't come with so much power. You don't even know what to do with it. But having Regal there is a valuable asset. So good for AEW. Speaking of AEW, Chris Jericho finally turned heel again, turned on his own Inner Circle group, and created a new stable within the group. And Jericho got leading 2.0 and Daniel Garcia and John Hager. It's like the new version of the Inner Circle 2.0. That's what they should be calling it. Inner Circle 2.0. Right there. Someone gave that, so take it. So we'll see on that. So also too, Scorpio Sky wins the TNT Championship over Sammy Guevara. Scorpio Sky with some underhanded means to do what he had to do to win it. How that went for Scorpio Sky with Dan Lambert in his end of the bargain, having Paige Van Zant signed to All Elite Wrestling. This is the same woman that went against Ronda Rousey and made her leave UFC. So speaking of that, Thunder Rosa gets her shot at the women's championship next week inside of a 15-foot solid steel cage. Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker will meet in a steel cage, preventing no parties to be involved as Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker in Thunder Rosa's hometown of San Antonio to win the women's championship in her hometown. Plus two, Adam Cole, he's looking for a partner. He chose Red Dragon over the Young Bucks. Is there dissension going on between the two teams and what allegiance Adam Cole is with? So we'll see. Plus two, Heyman Adam Page, the world champion, did his world challenge. And he went against Dante Martin for the world title. Dante didn't win it, but Heyman Adam Page standing over his shoulder with the world championship. Also, too, we heard that Rusev, Miro, whatever they call him, we signed with AEW, so Miro Rusev will have something going on from there coming soon. Plus two, on Raw, Stone Cold Steve Austin and Kevin Owens will confront each other at WrestleMania during the KO show at WrestleMania. So there's going to be combustible elements right there looking to get down, looking to happen. And what I'm saying, combustible elements at the KO show and Stone Cold Steve Austin for that. Also, too, Warlow turned his back on MJF and wanted to start a new leaf, but the big man better know MJF is plotting and seeing when he's going to do what he has to do to get his hands on the Warlow, costing him the dog collar match against CM Punk. So we'll see that. Warlow gets a TV title match and the TNT Championship match next week on Dynamite. So we'll see if MJF or Sean Spears will interfere in Warlow's behalf. Warlow had a heartfelt promo talking about he was poor, he had to do what he had to do, and he knew MJF wasn't a good person, but he had to put his, fight his bite the bullet and accept what MJF was doing. So you understand that. Also, too, the Hall of Fame might be getting a little expanded. We know that The Undertaker is the top lead Hall of Famer, as well as we found out Vader would be entering the Hall of Fame. Now we're hearing rumors that the Steiner brothers and Psycho Sid could be coming their way in the Hall of Fame. Wow. Psycho Sid and the Steiner brothers. We'll see. Especially Scott Steiner. Ooh, we do that Steiner math. Also, too, on Raw, Randy Orton done the unthinkable, outdoing himself with an RKO after Chad Gable was trying to do a moonsault and Randy Orton caught him and did an RKO. Ooh, man, oh man. Also, too, we know that Dolph Ziggler is the new NXT champion. He won over the triple threat match with Braun Breaker and Tommaso Ciampa. We don't know what this is going to go on forward in that one. Also want to send happy birthday wishes this week to Melina. Melina celebrating her birthday this week, as well as Sasha Banks. Them were the two women that first started in the Royal Rumble this year. So wish them happy birthday. Plus, too, NXT would be doing Stand and Deliver. 12 Central, I think. Is that what they say? Yeah. 12 p.m. Central, Stand and Deliver. So NXT going to stand and deliver, stand up in it. So we'll see on that. Plus, too, they've been tit for tat, as we know that Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin tit for tat. Drew saying that Drew didn't beat Roman, and Drew saying Baron couldn't win a title. So we get it. Also, two people are alleging about the Hardy Boys returning back to the ring. The Hardy Boys back in it. Plus, two, Ring of Honor. What's the fate of Ring of Honor? After Tony Khan brought Ring of Honor, where will Ring of Honor go from here? We have to wait and see and find out. So, a lot going on this week. And we want to send our prayers, wishes. We heard the report from Sean Watts Sapp about Big E. And Big E confirmed that he has a broken neck. I'm going to wish our thoughts and prayers to Big E as he gets back on track and got a long process, a long road to recovery. We want to wish our best. So we're going to leave with Big E with his suffering a broken neck. We wish him a long, speedy recovery. So for me being Kendrick Dick saying so long, we'll see you on the Pro Wrestling Show next week for the Robert Ring Report. See you later.